If I can find it here real quick. But read that again.
God, and it says,
Start from the top.
and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, nation of Israel, and the moon under her feet, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Upon her head a crown of 12 stars. That 12 stars, that's represent the nation of Israel.
The 12 tribes.
12 tribes come. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, right? That, like you said, it goes back to when Herod was trying to kill all the men child. When you read in Matthew, I think it's the 2nd chapter, trying to kill Yahushua, because it was told that a child would be born, right? And
so that's one thing about that revelation. It jumps time periods. Okay.
Good. It says it'll jump a whole time period in one sentence. It says,
where is this?
It says Matthew 2:16. It says, then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceedingly wroth, and sent forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem and in all the coast thereof for 2 years, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. Then was fulfilled which was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet, saying, in Ramah there was a voice heard, lamentations and weeping, and great mourning. Rachel weeping for her children, and would not be comforted because they are not.
Yeah. So that was a great slaughter for the it don't say the young boys of Israel, but we know through the Spirit that's who Herod was trying to we know through the Spirit that he was trying to get Yahushua, right, according to the scriptures. And then we know he was killing the little boys. You know, we know that. And they was looking for deliverance, but it didn't come, man. That's why Yahushua had to flee down into
Egypt.
Yeah, down into Egypt. And then another thing too, we look like them. We ain't as tall as them Egyptians, but we got the same pigment. You know, and this is to edify about the Ostrogoths. Okay, it's just one of them. But I mentioned the Vandals, the Burgundies, the Anglo-Saxons. Those places is where Rome was ruling, but Esau only understands a certain amount of history, and Jake the one came up with them names, Visigoth, Vandals, the Ostrogoths. Jake the one came up with them. So over a period of time in history, Esau just took those names and say, okay, this is what the Roman Empire was when he was ruling, okay? But during that time, later on during that around 193 AD, Septimius then was already up in there, okay? That's going into the 7 heads and the 10 horns, the old one, the old Roman Empire. I ain't talking about the modern day Roman Empire, which is America, okay?
This book right here, The Black Diaspora Colonization of Colored People.
Get the name of the author.
By let's see his name right there. It's Dr. Edward L. Jones.
Y'all can see this. Y'all can see this picture. King Theodoric, that was the Ostrogoth, right? We're gonna read that. You gonna read that, right? And that, and you can read that, and you can read that.
It says, order visor, elected king of the German Orthodox. The first king of Rome was named Romulus, and the city was named after him, Rome.
Yeah, and that was the Japhites. You see, Romulus and Remus, that's who Rome was named after, and that's who the white man stole Rome, the name Rome from. Really, they were Japhites. Because when the Roman Empire first came into power, they came into it was Japhites that was ruling, and then they got rid of the Japhites, which are the Hawaiians, Samoans, and Tonganese. So Romulus going back to Rome, going to Rome, that was a so-called Hawaiian, Samoan, or Tonganese, which are the true Japhetic people. Go ahead.
Khan. It says King Theodoric defeated Odovicer and became ruler of Italy. Theodoric ruled Italy for 33 years. Emperor Justin came. No. Okay. It says, please note his important German feature.
Show him the picture when you finish reading that.
His hair, which descends from the top of his head to his shoulders in a waterfall effect. So that means it will wave and curly, right? It says, in a waterfall effect, contrasts with the statues and portraits, coins of Africans whose hair was depicted as curly. Check it out.
That was a Jake. Okay? That was a Jake.
Theodoric. Yeah, they got one token.
Right there, that was a proof that the Ostrogoths was Jake's. But like I was saying, Esau took that through history. He took that since the Roman Empire was in them lands. He said, well, look, this is where the Roman Empire was, but we're going to take the name that the Jakes came up with, the Ostrogoths, the Vandals, the Burgundies, the Anglo-Saxons. Because the Anglo-Saxons, get that in Google, go to Wikipedia and type in Alfenstein or Alfenstone. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Anglo-Saxon king.
Type in
Alfenstein.
Anglo-Saxon king. There it is.
Click on
Alfred.
Yeah.
This is, wait a minute.
Alfenstein.
Go back one. There it is. Alfenstein. That is.
Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah. Click on it.
Alfenstein. At this thing.
So go to Wikipedia.
That's what they do.
I don't think that's him. There's him. There it is.
Yeah,
right there. Now show these brothers this. This is an Anglo-Saxon king right here.
Right. Athelstein.
Anglo-Saxon king. Turn around so they can, turn around.
I was talking to somebody else, they talking about the Anglo-Saxon the other day.
You know what I'm saying?
Angelic sons of Isaac.
Yeah. So there you go. And that's an Anglo-Saxon king right there. So that was 2 points. I just proved through the spirit that the Ostrogoths and the Anglo-Saxons was Israelites. Right? They just took that, Esau just took that name and put it on where the Romans was ruling that. Okay? He just took them name. Okay? But you got to keep in mind, like I said, he took the name, but in the places that he mentioned about the Anglo-Saxons and the Visigoths and the Vandals and the Burgundies, yes, Esau was ruling in them places. The Roman Empire was ruling in them places. Okay?
God.
Going into the 7 heads and the 10 horns, the old one. I ain't talking about the modern, which mentions Spain and Greece, Germany the Major and Minor, and Germany, and France. I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about the old one. Okay. Which the one that mentioned that one is in Revelation the 17th chapter. About Spain and Russia and Britain and and France. Go ahead.
God, it says, Revelations 12:3, and there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven.
His tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven. What was the 10 tribes at? Woo! On this side. And who was left on the other side? Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. So there was a Roman Empire bringing Judah, Benjamin, and Levi down, man. Okay? Because you remember back up, the woman had 12 stars up on her head. But it was only 3 left over there because the northern kingdom came on this side. Okay? Go ahead.
God. And it says, and did cast them to the earth.
Go ahead.
And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
See, it's jumping time period. Go ahead.
And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations.
Who was to rule all nations. Who is that? Who the word Illinois called Jesus, right? Which is Yahweh Shai in the Hebrew. Go ahead.
To rule all nations with a rod of iron.
With a rod of iron. Okay, go ahead.
And her child was caught up unto the power and to his throne.
Called up to the power and his throne. You see? So Yahweh Shai sitting on the right hand of Yahweh. Okay, go ahead.
God. And it says, and the woman fled into the wilderness.
And the woman fled into the wilderness. What wilderness? That's talking about the interiors of Africa. Okay? Running in the Roman persecution, you see, in 70 AD. Matter of fact, in Babylon,
it jumped again. That's from one scripture to another, it jumped almost 100 years. 84.
Yeah, and then get looped. Right now. Okay?
Yep.
Then I'm gonna give it back to you. But I just wanted to jump. See, now, if the guy you knew and you was talking to, if he was sincere, the Most High would have opened his eyes up to things like this. Now he gonna stay blind as a bat because he rejected the truth when he was trying to tell it. You see that?
Babylon, Timbuktu, Rudolph Windsor.
And this is our history, man. This is our history. We go by history, man. This is our history.
This is page 84. It says, in the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem.
Now, I'm going to hit you with something. Going into their history, you had a guy by the name of Alexander Tiberius, okay, which was an Israelite, okay, in the Roman army, helping the Roman army besiege Jerusalem, man, helping. So you always had wicked Israelites over periods of time help these other nations overthrow it. That's why the so-called white man know that whenever he want to try to get Jake, he always sent Jake against Jake to infiltrate, because he know our people would turn on each other because they're in a confused state, man. You see? Just thinking they gonna get something out of it, but he end up killing them too. You see? That's how it is, man. But Tiberius Alexander was a general, man, helping Titus him. Go ahead.
It says in the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state.
So that's us fleeing into the wilderness, man. You know, pursuing the Revelation, the 12th chapter, fleeing into the wilderness, into the interiors of Africa, man. You know? Go ahead.
With great slaughter.
I believe we was in there for like 1,500 years, man.
1,500 years in Africa.
Yeah, 1,500 years, man, in Africa, man. But see, the thing about that is, before we had fled down into Africa, we always had our people down in Africa. We always colonized Africa. That's why they were running down in there to blend in with them Africans. But little do Jake know, not knowing his history, them Africans always hated us. Jake was always had to be on their tippy toes. Even though they was in them land, they always had to stay on their tippy toes, man, and watch, man, because them Africans really hated them. They knew we were not of their nation, man. They knew that, you know.
And it says, during the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it was estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery.
Yeah, that's where you get the Ibos, the Ashantis, you know, just to mention them two names, you know. That's where you get them. That's where you get them people from, man. Because they was them our people, man. That was fled into Africa, man. You know, they're part of the Negro, man. Part of the Southern Kingdom, which is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, man. You still got our people that's still over there, man, till this day.